temperament will decide the difference between great player and ordinary player. But Terry has luxury, he's making decision, but young Q up front, it's one decision, and I can tell you now, he will not play as a striker, he will support from behind, and this is where Australia is going to probably counter-attack, playing for a close result.
Charlie, Harry Kewell up there instead of Aloisi, Arnold, a number of other strikers that are in the squad.
Well, again, Les, there's so many different combinations that you can actually put there. You know, some could argue, yeah, Graham Arnold, great ambassador for Australia. Under circumstances like this, a lot of experience, and you could probably have him up there. At the same token, I feel that probably the tactics that Terry will be employing, even though a lot of the players are assertive in terms of their approach going forward, at the same token, I think he's going to be very cautious of trying to contain as much as possible, and I think that's the reason why you've got Hova as a sweeper. He doesn't venture forward as much. He probably holds and sits back a little bit more than Milan Ivanovic. So I think that's probably the reasons why he's got him in there, not to give away goals, especially early on in the game.
Okay, let's have a look at the, I think we have the Iranian lineup as well, and bear in mind that those 4 players who were due to be suspended have been given an amnesty. Karim Bagheri, who is their finest midfielder by reputation, is still out because of his 2-match suspension. This is his 2nd match. He will be back for the return in Melbourne next week. Charlie?
Well, I think the areas that we're going to really look at is the Al-Dair up front, Azizi. I think we've got to be very careful and cautious about the way they approach the game there, and also Mansourian.
All right, Charlie. Well, I think we're about to strike up for the national anthems in Tehran. Let's go over to the Azudeh Stadium. Well, we're having technical problems with our commentary line from Tehran, so we'll carry the commentary from here for the moment. There are the two captains. Alex Tobin, it's a dream run for him. It has been since taking over the captaincy, of course. He's Australia's latest captain, only recently elevated to the captaincy after the retirement of Paul Wade. And it will be a real dream fulfilled for him if Australia qualifies. Significantly, he is the only home-based Socceroo in the Australian lineup tonight. 100,000 fans, all ready, I should think, to urge on the Iranians in this very, very vital game. It has been 20 years since Iran has lost a football match in this stadium. One has to temper that statistic with the fact that there was no football played in Iran for the first 10 years of the Islamic Revolution. But nonetheless, there have been dozens and dozens of games played at this stadium in the last 20 years, but not one loss. Aurelio Vidmar, troubled perhaps by the fact that he's out of favour at his club, Tenerife in Spain. So accusations of a lack of match practice on his part, but he has performed very well despite those limitations for Australia every time he put on the green and gold. It'll be Iran to kick off, and to face them in the Australian goal will be Mark Bosnich. Touch and go between him and Zelko Kalac for the #1 jersey for Australia. But because of his elite experience at Aston Villa in the Premier League, he's the one who wins the favour. So Iran on the break early on. They are, of course, in the all-white, Australia in the yellow shirts.
Scenes here, and Azadi as the ball runs out on the far side as Sadavi couldn't reach it for Iran. Mark Bosnich in goal for Australia tonight. That's Sadavi, one of the new boys. 3 new players have entered this Iranian side. Maduka pushed in the back clearly by the number 20 for Iran, Pashitzadeh. Well, talking to here for Harry Kuehl. Quite sure what that was for, but Aurelio Vidmar, who's 30, talks to the 19-year-old and just tells him to calm his nerves just a little bit. Relax and get on with the game is the message. Zelic over the ball. Little clip into the penalty area. Slater trying to win it for Australia. Here's Ali Daei, the true legend here of Iranian football. The ball has been won in the tackle. Here's Azizi playing on the right tonight. We're used to him on the left, and Matavikia takes over. Slater coming in to close down his man quickly. And Moore with the high ball, and Bosnich coming out to get the ball. A long ball from Bosnich. Kuehl up against Hokpour. Good touch on by Kuehl, who was looking to find Viduka. This is more promising for Australia. Slater on the ball, whipping in the cross. And away for Iran is Mansourian. Ali Daei. Moore in strongly on Ali Daei, and he fouls him. And the roar from the Azadi Stadium as Ali Daei is put to ground by Craig Moore. Hokpour let it run. Kuehl will chase. Hokpour will get there and used his body well. The experienced defender for Iran. Back to Pairavani. It's a long ball. Daei who's big and tough, and it's given away by Moore in a dangerous position. Chance here for Iran. A little ball through, and Tobin will clear for Australia. But a nervous moment in the heart of the Australian defence. Flicked on by Ali Daei, away by Horvath. And Vidmar did very well to use his body there and to win the free kick for Australia. Challenge coming in from Sadavi. Free kick to Australia. Viduka challenging. Oh, there's a free kick for Australia right on the edge of the penalty area. Mark Viduka using his body to good effect. It's a young forward line for Australia tonight. Kuehl, 19, Viduka, who's 22. Abedzadeh, the veteran goalkeeper for Iran. He's somewhat of a loose cannon. We saw him against Japan last week provide us with some very unusual moments, but Australia might hope to exploit a weakness in his nature as the free kick comes in. It didn't miss by much either from Zelic. Barely half a metre in it, just over the crossbar there from Ned Zelic. As we see a replay there, and it did not miss by much there. Fine effort from the French-based midfielder. And Australia's last game was almost 2 months ago against Tunisia in the north of Africa. They won by 3-0 in an outstanding performance away from home. Oh, Zelic, that's a great ball forward. Australia on the attack here. A little ball across. Viduka! Oh, a golden opportunity for Australia there, and a very promising move indeed. Australia really showing that they've come to Tehran with an attitude that is positive and attack-minded. If you've just joined us, it's 5.5 minutes gone here at the Azadi Stadium. We believe there have been some sound difficulties, but we hope you're with Johnny Warren and myself now here. And that's offside. And Australia have started well here at the Azadi Stadium. And that move earlier on, John, was a very good beginning for the Socceroos.
It is the good sign, Paul, is that Zelic had excellent touch. We've seen the free kick, we've seen the pass through to Foster to create that chance for Viduka, and Australia would be well pleased at the moment.
Long ball forward. Tobin will get there before Azizi, but will Azizi get there before the ball reaches the goal line? Tobin goes back to Bosnic, and the Aston Villa keeper concedes a corner. The pitch here at the Azadi is very bumpy, and the short one is taken. There's only one man out there for Australia. The ball comes across, it's a dangerous one. And Foster composed on the edge of the penalty area. Vidmar with a risky pass inside, and it's been won back by Iran. Tony Vidmar gets there first. And a throw in to Iran. Hokpur on the ball. High ball into the area. Bosnic backpedaling and takes it comfortably. Mark Bosnic, very much a talking goalkeeper, and Australia need all the volume that they can muster up in their defence. As Iran are forward again. And the crowd are starting to warm to the home team. And that in itself is a phenomenal lift for the players, and this is fine football by Iran. Cross is blocked. Aurelio Vidmar can get there. Away by Vidmar. Viduka. Nice turn from Mark Viduka, and he's fouled and brought to the ground.
Unique marking system at the back for Australia. in that Tobin going with Azizi, the smaller, trickier player. Craig Moore with Ali Daei. I wonder if those roles should be reversed. Tobin much stronger in the air, more nimble on the feet. You would think a switch there would be better served for Australia. We'll wait and see on that one.
Here is Ali Daei, 51 international goals. The crowd here absolutely love Ali Daei. He plays in Germany for Stuttgart. If we take another look at the shot coming in, it was well over the bar from Ali Daei. But interesting to note, both Ali Daei and the winger Azizi, after the game against Japan last week, they both returned to Germany to play for their clubs on Wednesday night, which is quite a phenomenal scenario. And then they raced back here to Tehran and arrived late last night for the game. So it's quite amazing that A, they could be released, and B, that they would want to leave their country at such a crucial stage of the World Cup campaign. But many people, observers from the Australian media that are here in Tehran, feel that Iran off the field are a little dishevelled, and that's further evidence for that as Viduka flicks inside. Foster will get there first. He's got two men on him and has just bundled off the ball. Zelic couldn't get a tackle in quickly. And Iran are forward. Astili is brought to the ground by Slater. Astili is down. The referee is Pier Luigi Perotto from Italy, a man very experienced at all facets of refereeing and all levels of refereeing as well. As Kuehl gets the ball on the steal, Harry Kuehl running at the defence, still Kuehl. Here's Zelic taking it through, and he's brought down on the edge of the Iranian penalty area again. A second opportunity for Australia from the set piece, and Zelic did well to control an awkward ball, but he was tripped there. Zelic took the last one. Aurelio Vidmar and Mark Viduka are over this one. The goalkeeper, Abidzada, is watchful. There is everyone behind the ball from an Iranian perspective. And Zelic is over the ball again. Viduka's not too far away. Well, the wall is being marched back. Abidzada not happy with a couple of things. Well, 11 minutes gone here at the Azadi Stadium. Australia have started promisingly indeed. As we wait for the free kick, tap to Viduka with the shot into the wall. Viduka again, loose ball, and that's a goal kick. And every decision that goes the way of the Iranians is greeted by the most phenomenal roar here. They say the capacity of the Azadi is around about 100,000, but there are no spaces on the stairwells at all, so the estimate crowd tonight would be somewhere around 120 to 130,000. And Australia are more than holding their own in the opening few minutes. Ali Daei. Oh, that's a fine switch there from Astili. Forward is the number 7, Mansourian. Iran forward here. Madavikia on the edge of the penalty area, away by Moore. And the ball goes all the way back to Abidzada. Well, in the World Cup qualifiers, Iran won 2 and drew 2 of their 4 home games, but of the 2 games that they drew, 1-1 against Saudi Arabia and 0-0 against Kuwait, they were by far the better side, and both games could have been something like a 4 or 5-1 scoreline. They beat China 4-2 and they thrashed Qatar 3-0 as well. Slater turning away, robbed by the ball, and Zelic came across quickly. But it's an Iranian throw on the far side. And just an interesting thing to note is we were trying before the game to find out when the last time it was that Iran lost here at the Azadi Stadium, but it was such a long time ago that no one could tell us. They have such a phenomenal home record. Even ardent followers of Iranian football were at a loss to answer that question as Bosnic comes out so quickly off his line. Zelic, Tony Vidmar. Zelic on the ball, but robbed very quickly indeed by a sharp tackle, and an equally nippy challenge came in from Alex Tobin, the Australian captain. Moore. Slater. Still Slater. Great play from him. Zelic coming onto the ball, but he was so intent on winning the ball that he couldn't keep the ball, if you like, and it's run away for an Iranian goal kick. But certainly, Johnny Warren, we've had almost 14 minutes gone here, and from our commentary position right next to the pitch, which in itself is a unique thing in football, we have started well.
On the card table, as they say. No, it's been a terrific start. Australia very composed. The danger period for them is the first 20 minutes, and so far so good. Iran really buzzing. They know they've got to get the result this match, but this is a danger man for them. Sadabi.
Deep cross to the back post. Ali Daei's there, but he couldn't out-jump Craig Moore, and that is a cross that went right into Ali Daei territory. He thrives on the ball to the back post, as we saw against Japan 6 days ago. Now this is interesting. Abadzadeh, we know, likes to tease the strikers if he can. Tony Vidmar has time. Still Tony Vidmar forward to his brother Aurelio wide on the left-hand side. Potential here for Australia, but no one's backing up Aurelio Vidmar, and he's just pushed off the ball there by two tacklers. And one of the benefits of being so close to the action is that we can hear everything that comes out of the mouth of the Australian coach, Terry Venables. He has been up on his feet on several occasions already in this first half, yelling to his players. High ball, too high for Vidmar. Tobin comes across. Didn't risk anything too tricky there by trying to perhaps push the ball back down the line. He was prepared to just concede the throw. Estilli, this clever midfield player. And down goes Sadabi. Brought into the side today. As we take a look at Sadabi here, taking on Tony Vidmar. Late challenge. But he has already shown his class, Sadabi, in this opening quarter of an hour or so. Tony Vidmar preferred at left back to Stan Lazaridis because of the pace of Mardavikia, who is expected to play down the right-hand flank. Lazaridis had a groin strain. He has recovered from it, but only just, so he's on the bench tonight. Kuehl getting the nod over Graham Arnold and Jolo Aloisi up front. And perhaps a surprise for Australia is Horvath in at sweeper. But it's Iran on the attack here, on the edge of the penalty area. The shot comes in! Well, Bosnic didn't appear to move across his line, which gives an indication perhaps of just how close the shot was. But Sharudi was well prepared to chance his arm here. First time with the shot, it was cleanly struck, but well away from Bosnic's left-hand post.
And again, the trouble there, Paul, coming from Azizi, the Asian Player of the Year. He has been in fine touch, but signs are today he's back to his best. Very dangerous. He does invite the foul. Australia have to be very, very careful. He's playing more through the middle than normally. He normally plays wider on the left, and he's the danger man for Australia at the moment.
So we'll take another look at the shot from Foster. Shoot on sight policy for the Socceroos today, without a doubt, and its local time is 10 to 4 in the afternoon. A perfect day for football. cool and crisp, about 17 degrees here in Tehran. Azizi, handball. Play goes on. Azizi again, who looks a very tricky customer indeed, but the ball's been stolen by Australia, and Kuhl just tried to help it onto Viduka, but they were just too close to each other. Well, 31 out of 32 places for France 98 have been sorted out. There is one place left. It will be filled by Iran or Australia. This is World Cup football at its very best. Steve Horvath takes the free kick. That's Valdir Vieira, known as Badu. It's a chance here for Kuhl! A goal for Australia! A brilliant start for the Socceroos, and it's Harry Kuhl, the 19-year-old, who has opened the scoring. And the silence that 130,000 people can make is quite stunning here, as equally as stunning as the finish by Harry Kuhl. As we take another look here, Kuhl beat the offside trap, one touch and a control and a clear volley past the goalkeeper. A superb strike, and that's his first ever goal for the Socceroos. Venables took a risk in many people's eyes, not going for a more experienced striker, but the risk has paid off in the most emphatic of fashions here. Well, Tony Vidmar is yellow carded. Well, what a start from Australia. After 19 minutes, Harry Kuhl has broken through the Iranian defence. There was talk a week ago, John, that Iran's defence was looking shaky at times, and it certainly has been the case so far
found the
today.
hole beautifully, didn't they? And as you say, a justification. We've been speculating for months and months who was going to play in front for Australia. Young Kuhl at that stage wasn't a prospect. We more regarded him as an attacking left fullback. He now, of course, with Leeds playing in front, and that's a great start for Australia. The pressure really now on Iran. Playing at home, this crowd is all for them, of course, but as things start to turn against them, they also will turn on the team. But Australia being very composed, they've weathered the storm, they've got their noses in front, and the pressure now really and truly on Iran.
Well, that's an Australian throw just inside the Australian half, and the comments prior to the game was, can Australia survive the first 20 minutes? Well, the answer is clear. We've had 21 minutes gone here at the Azadi Stadium. And not only are they surviving, but they are calling the shots here. As the ball goes back, it's an awkward one. Paravani wasn't prepared to go back to his goalkeeper. Slater will take the throw in. And Iran have lost 3 out of their last 4 games. 5 weeks ago, they were the undisputed, outstanding team in Asia. As Vidmar tries to apply some pressure to Abadzadeh, they were clearly head and shoulders above most of the other nations. Perhaps South Korea would be the only exception to that in the Asian region, but things have just gone so horribly wrong for them. That's well won there, but an awkward ball for Moore, who takes it on the volley. Doesn't try to do anything too tricky with an awkward bouncing ball. Coming into the game, Australia already have some casualties. Paul Ocon's knee has flared up again. It's a real shame for the Lazio midfielder, regarded as the outstanding Australian player. Paul Trimboli had a bad tackle during the week. He wasn't available for today's game. He's pinched his medial ligaments. Stanley Lazaridis' groin has healed, but he is just on the bench tonight, and Mark Viduka came into the game with a throat infection as well. Azizi, little ball to feet. Danger here. That's a great turn there by Mansourian over the top of Moore. Ali Daei was being held, but not according to the referee, who's given the decision to Australia. The experienced Italian referee. Moore tangling with Ali Daei. And so far, John, the Craig Moore against Ali Daei scenario, I guess, is working well, despite the obvious lack of logic behind it, if you like.
Well, there is a reason behind it. I'm not aware of it, but my doubt is more on Azizi with Tobin. He's very quick, very tricky, but it's working well so far, so we can't go against that move. It's a little bit controversial, but so far so good for Australia. They just need, I know it's easy sitting here saying, they just need to use the ball a little bit more out of midfield. I think we're losing it too much, but it's we cannot be critical so far. It's a dream start for Australia. Some 25 minutes into the first half, a goal in front.
Well, the caption on your screen there was slightly askew. It's Mark Viduka, not Mark Vidmar. As Kuehl turns into the penalty area, but he's robbed of the ball. Mansourian waiting for some movement, but there isn't a lot coming, and Alex Tobin easily steals in front of the stationary Azizi. Zelic helps the ball forward. Foster continuing the run forward. The loose ball comes for Viduka. Great play from Mark Viduka to steal the ball away, but a strong challenge was equally as good, and Ali Daei is peeling away to the left. He's got Moore to beat. Horvath is in close attendance as well, but Moore is watching across the goal, and Alex Tobin was there at the right place to just get a foot to the ball. Ali Daei is a player that is capable of doing it all on his own if he has to. Short corner to Iran. Blocked here, and a chance for Aurelio Vidmar to clear the ball. Waiting for some movement. It comes from Viduka, who's very much up on his own at the moment. Zelic turning inside. No one behind him if he wanted to go back, so he was forced to just play it safe down the line. Well, Iran have played 15 World Cup qualifying games so far in this campaign, compared to just 6 for Australia. Somewhat of a role reversal, if you like, for the Socceroos, who in past campaigns have had to trek to all 4 corners of the world to try and qualify. Vidmar lost out. Azizi just keeping the ball in. Danger here for Australia. Azizi playing across to the near post. Ali Daei, Bosnich, save, brilliant save from Mark Bosnich. What a wonderful piece of reflexes from the Socceroo goalkeeper. The crowd went up expecting a goal, but it wasn't to be. And it's a free kick to Australia on the edge of the penalty area.
What a great save from Bosnich. Azizi, the troublemaker again, and Ali Daei is showing why he's rated the top striker in Asia. Look at this shot. That is a great save from Bosnich. Low down.
Viduka getting a touch in, but he was outnumbered there by an Iran side that has lifted somewhat by the attempt from Ali Daei. Metavikia, this lightning fast right winger. That's clearly a foul on Foster, but play goes on. Foster looks to the referee as if to say, what does he need to do to get a free kick? But Tobin is fouled there, and this time the Socceroos get the free kick that they deserve. Metavikia, the number 2, was surprisingly picked as a right-sided attacker last week against Japan, and many people expected him to drop back to his normal position of right fullback, but he's stuck with the same forward line, the 3 up front. Valdir Vieira, the coach here, as Viduka finds a space for himself, but the ball just didn't quite run for him, and the goalkeeper with a spectacular clearance. Australia go all the way back to Moore. Moore's fouled. Ali Daei just tripping his man. Horvat to take the free kick, selected ahead of Milan Ivanovic for today's game in the surprise selection, I guess, of the match from an Australian perspective anyway. Horvat, who has been trying to get to play in England with West Ham, but he returned back to his club in Croatia, Hajduk Split, and has been playing there. Ali Daei. Free kick, no, a throw-in to Iran. And John, there was a lot of concern coming into the game about so many of the Socceroos were underdone or hadn't been playing a lot of club football, if you like, but it doesn't seem to have had any effect at all, really.
No, on the other hand, this is the one game they've been looking forward to for months. It is a real baptism for them, a real game, probably the first time we've seen them under so much pressure. And no offside there, Australia nearly caught out. But Martavicchia, you're talking about before, I still believe he's a much more effective player coming from deep. The reason they're playing him up front is that Bagheri, their top player, is out suspended for this match, and as a result there's not enough support in front for Ali Daei and Azizi. But Martavicchia, for me, much more effective coming from deep. But that's where Iran are playing him today, up front, and I think it's suiting Australia that he's playing in that role.
The call from the Socceroo benches to push up when Iran tried to play out like that, and very quickly the Iranians were closed down by yellow shirts that are hungry for a place in France next year.
Yeah, the pressuring of Iran in their own half is excellent by Australia. I'm sure Iran not used to that type of tactic from other Asian opponents, but Australia playing the pressing game in the Iran half very, very effectively, not giving them time to build, putting them under pressure all the time.
Yeah. Tobin first to the ball. Aurelio Vidmar. Kuehl with time to turn, somewhat surprisingly, and that's a fine ball inside to Foster, who gets past one, goes past a second. Tony Vidmar. Foul on Tony Vidmar by Martavicchia. Iran have made the World Cup finals once back in 1978, 4 years after Australia's only appearance in the finals of the World Cup. Zelic forward, skips past a couple. Kuehl wasn't really expecting the ball there, and now Iran on the counter-attack down the right-hand side. Azizi, clever bit of skill to get past Kuehl over the head of Ali Daei, and Slater has time at the far post. And Ali Daei is down on the edge of the penalty area. Well, he's slowly starting to look like he's getting back to his feet, but he's technically in an offside position, which is good for the Socceroos, but it's a free kick on the far side there, and it's gone to Australia. Ali Daei back on his feet, but Australia back on the attack. Slater will take the free kick. Viduka at the far post is the obvious target. Kuehl making his presence felt in there as well. Kuehl trying to win the ball in the air, but he's the tallest of players, Harry Kuehl. Tobin, clearly too good in the air for Azizi. Aurelio Vidmar over his head. The ball's gone through. Viduka's offside. Well, just for half a second there, it looked like Viduka had beaten the offside trap, as we see that Kuehl is just feeling his back of his head after going for that last cross. "32.5 minutes gone here at the Azadi Stadium. Mansourian, well won there by Tobin. The flag's gone up for offside, but Tobin wasn't to know that, and he just got his foot in there to cut out that clever little through ball. Iran 0, Australia 1. The first of 2 matches which will decide who will qualify for France in 1998. Little touch back from Aurelio Vidmar to his brother Tony.
The 2 instructions from the bench, Paul. One is for Kuehl to drop a little bit into midfield, and they're concerned with Tony Vidmar, already on a yellow, just to take it easy with the tackling, just not to commit another foul. They fear that he could get the second yellow and, of course, be sent off.
Well, the goal from Harry Kuehl has stunned the home supporters here. The best possible beginning for Australia to take the sting out of the crowd. The factor of 130,000 cannot be ignored. And Iran just taking their time to get forward. Now free on the right-hand side is Pashadzadeh. Ali Daei given a little bit of room. Tackle went in, lunge from Tobin Azizi with the shot deflection. Bosnich was in the right place originally, but he did move to one side and the ball came back into his body, which was good news for him, of course. Now Iran on the attack again as we watch Azizi on the replay. The shot went straight at Bosnich there, and you didn't miss anything in the live action, but still Iran pressing for an equaliser. Sadavi on the right-hand side. Ali Daei beaten in the air by Moore. Medavikia allowed to shoot! Slips again over the bar! Well, just for a moment there, Bosnich lost the ball and it bounced on top of the Australian crossbar. But too much room given here to the danger man, Medavikia. What a good shot it was. It was clearly going in. Bosnich thrust up an arm and just did enough to keep the ball out. Australia still repelling everything that Iran have thrown at them so far. Less than 10 minutes to go before half-time. Corner to Iran. Loose ball, Azizi, little back heel. Shot comes in, but there were yellow shirts. 10 of them, in fact, to get through, and the flag goes up for offside. Bosnich tips the ball over, but it would have...
Catch your breath, mate. Ah, what a period. I mean, that's the sort of pressure. Full marks to Australia. They've just kept them out. Bosnich, another great save. And just a foot here. But look at Azizi here. That's classy stuff. A great shot. Thankfully, we got a block to it and able to survive another period of Iranian pressure.
Zelic. Australia looking to spend a little bit more time in Iran's half than they have done in the last 10 minutes or so. It's getting harder and harder for them. Tony Vidmar facing his own goal. Tony Vidmar talking to the bench talking to Vidmar. The instructions were to stay wide all the time. He's saying it's not as easy as it looks. Viduka fouled. Omar Viduka and Harry Kuehl, as a combination, have had just half a game together. That was against Tunisia in early October. But already they're starting to look like a combination that could go places for Australia. Vidmar with the free kick, curled in with the left foot. No one at the far post for Australia. Ball given away. Viduka bringing it down. Well, Ali Daei, the ball fell perfectly to him. Zelic bundled off the ball. Foster forward, Slater's offside. Australia have faced Iran 5 times overall. They have been beaten on 3 occasions. They have beaten Iran twice significantly in the all-conquering 1974 World Cup campaign. They played Iran and the flag goes up for offside, and that's a crazy decision. And the ball's gone into the back of the net, which will infuriate the supporters even more, but the run there from Sadavi was clearly onside.
Clearly onside, and one must say the decisions going Australia's way. The referee not favouring Australia, but it's been for a home team. I seldom see so many decisions going against them. That run is from deep. There is no way he's offside at all, and Iran unfortunate on that occasion. 7 minutes, Paul, to half-time. Important Australia hold it the way it is and go in one up, be able to regroup.
Foster trying the shot.
And the pressure will be really on Iran should they be down 1-0 at half-time. But you just sense this last 7-8 minutes is going to be Iran's period. They've got to peg it back. And one must say they really do miss Bagheri out of midfield. Their main goal scorer is out suspended, comes back for next week's match in Melbourne. Maybe too late then. They do miss him coming from deep.
Iran getting on with the game very quickly indeed. Hokpour, Sadavi through the legs of Vidmar to Hokpour again. It's an awkward ball into the penalty area.
Misses out.
Horvat solid with the clearance. And the ball is back in play awfully quickly. The flag stays down. Madavikia pulling it across. And he crosses it forward. Assisi the scorer. It's 1-1 here at the Azadi Stadium. Noise coming through the effects microphones around the ground, I'm sure we'll be telling the story here. It is absolutely deafening because Azizi has found an equaliser for Iran. It was half a chance at best, but he managed to just deflect the ball past Bosnic. No one picking up the diminutive striker at the near post. Bosnic left exposed there. And it's 1-1. But Australia have a free kick. We've got around 4 minutes to go before the break. Zelic now for the Socceroos. The ball 3-2 to Abadzadeh. Quick ball from him. Long ball. Awkward here. Bosnic is coming out all the way.
Well, exactly what we didn't want, and Madavikia so dangerous on the right, the cross and the touch from Azizi, and 5 to go to half-time. Iran just flying now. This is a danger man, Azizi.
Well, such a vital period of the game now for Australia. 3.5 minutes to go until half-time. Foster down the line and offside. Well, 6 days ago, Iran went a goal down against Japan, but they came back strongly. They have the character. As Ali Daei turns and sneaks away, Zelic got there well and won the ball superbly there, Ned Zelic, and he was fouled in the end by Ali Daei. Oh, a missed kick there by Foster. It's found Ali Daei, but the pass that Azizi won't even attempt to try and reach. Quite an astonishing feeling standing in the centre of the Azadi Stadium. There are laws here. There are no women in the stadium. It's A 100% male crowd. The female of the population aren't allowed to attend sporting matches of this nature. The noise is really quite stunning. And the way the Socceroos have played in this first half has been equally as impressive, but there's more work to do yet. Ali Daei, Horvath behind him. Corner to Iran. A real danger period for Australia here. The short one taken, only one defender out there. Sadabi whipping it across. Viduka sliding in. That came off Ali Daei, so it'll be a goal kick, though there were 125,000 people standing up out of their seats as the shot came in here. As we take another look, played across by Sadabi. Viduka virtually passed the ball straight to Hokpur on the edge of the penalty area, but the shot went wide. Slater. Well, he's got an arm around his neck. Surely that is a foul. And it finally comes. So I'm sure a lot of the players are having trouble hearing the referee's whistle at times as Zelic sprays a pass wide to Vidmar. The flag's gone up, the ball's gone out, but...
We've been talking for a long time, Paul, how good Iran are. People doubted it at home, or what it's like to play in this atmosphere. Remembering their top player is out, and we've had two great saves from Bosnic. And I think the best thing at the moment is that we're going, or hopefully going in at 1-1 at half time. We'll give Venables time to sort a few things out, which are needed for Australia to try and get control of this match.
Well, that's a clever ball from Tony Vidmar to Aurelio Vidmar and Kuhl. Well, in Hokpur and Kuhl here. Now, what will the referee make of this? He's calling both players to him. Yellow card to Hokpur and yellow card to Harry Kuhl as well. We're now 30 seconds into time added on here.
Looking for my phone.
Free kick must be taken again. So it's Kuhl and Tony Vidmar from Australia on yellow cards. And Mohamed Hokpur, the only recipient from Iran. Socceroos would welcome the half-time whistle given the onslaught that they've faced in the last 15 to 20 minutes or so. Offside. Well, the half-time whistle has gone. The players struggling to hear the whistle with the volume here at the Azadi Stadium. But the news so far for the Socceroos is that they've made a very good beginning here. Harry Kuhl opened the scoring after 19 minutes when they really did slice open the Iranian defence. But since then, Iran have piled on the pressure here against the Socceroos, and significantly two outstanding saves from the goalkeeper, Mark Bosnic, has kept the Iranian side down to one goal. They did score from Azizi 6 minutes before the break. The pressure finally told here. But so far, the Socceroos are holding out well under extreme circumstances. Half-time at the Azadi, it's Iran 1, Australia 1.
And welcome back to the World Game and Judgment Day #1 on Australia's last step to the World Cup finals. It's half-time in Tehran with the score 1-1 between the two sides. A reminder again that the Aussies will have their rematch against Iran at the MCG next Saturday evening with a live telecast in all viewing areas except Melbourne on SBS. Telecast times we'll tell you about a little bit later. Please check your local guides for details. They are varying telecast times because of the various time zones, of course. Remember, no live coverage in Melbourne unless the game is a sellout. Well, let's look back on that first half with the panellists. A furious half, Charlie. The away goal of crucial value to Australia, but we're in a bit of bother at the moment.
Most certainly, I would have preferred it to be the other way around, actually, with the Australians not starting off as good as they did to score the goal, and it would have been better if they came into the second half. As we see here, Ned Zelic not missing by too far on a free kick early on. That was in the first couple of minutes, and again, great ball by Foster. Zelic over to Foster, great cross, and I thought Mark Viduka should have done a little bit better. So we started putting a lot of pressure early on, and then Iran started to get back into the game. We saw Azizi starting to cause a lot of havoc, and here a shot just going wide. Surely Mark Bosnich, in the form that he's been in, he would have probably saved that. But again, early on, Australia seemed to be in a commanding situation, and what a great goal. We didn't see early on what actually happened, but it was a long ball over the top. Defender misjudged it. Harry Kewell, what a great start for him, and a magnificent control and a goal. And here we see one of the first saves of Bosnich, a great ball in, and Aldair, what a great strike. And Bosnich going down quite clearly, a magnificent save.
Rally, how did you see the half?
I see that as soon as Australia took the lead, Iran concentrated on attacking from the right side, causing a lot of problems, especially as soon as Vidma received the yellow card. I think he's in a lot of bother, and all attacks from Iran, this is what brought Iran into the game. Just analyze that everything is happening on the right-hand side. It's a very difficult coaching point to take Vidmar off and introduce new defensive player, or keep him over there with a great deal of risk. I think Iranians will attack all the way on Vidmar's side if he continues being on the field.
Right?
I'm surprised Terry's not pushing more down the line. I'm a bit disappointed in Robbie. Robbie Slater's staying well back at the moment, and I'm thinking he's giving the initiative to the Iranians to come forward. Now, that incident just before with the offside goal, or so we thought offside goal, I believe the linesman signalled for a foul prior to the fellow making the run, so I don't think the decision was as critical as it appeared.
Charlie, the goal we conceded?
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but again, the Iran's really picked up the pace. We saw right up until the death of it, and here even Mark Viduka, way back in his 18-yard box defending. So the pressure that they're applying is enormous. You've got players like Maktavikia, who's really applying himself, Azizi creating a lot of opportunities, and there's Kukpa right from the defender right up there trying to score. So there is a lot of pressure that they're applying. They know that they have to go and actually create a result here. They can't just sit back, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on the Australians.
All right, gentlemen, well, we've heard from our studio guests. Let's cross over now to Carl Patterson and Johnny Warren for their summation of the first half in Tehran.
Thanks, Les, and welcome to everyone right around Australia to the Azadi Stadium here in Tehran. Joining me, Johnny Warren. You've been calling the first half, Johnny. At 38 minutes, we thought the Australians had just about done the perfect job here in Tehran. It all changed with that goal.
It did, and I think overall it's been a fair result on the first half. Perhaps Iran slightly better, which is not surprising, but I felt if Australia could get in, a few things perhaps could be sorted out, because it's not working exactly as Venables would want. But I mean, that's easier to say, but to be out there, this atmosphere, Iran are playing for national pride. I mean, they're a team that haven't been in good form, so you can imagine what they're like when they are in good form, but they're throwing everything. Thankfully, Bagheria is not there, because his additional push out of midfield would create a lot of problems for us. I think there probably have to be a few adjustments at half-time. There are the role of Slater, for example. We haven't seen a lot of Robbie. Tony Vidmar in a little bit of trouble on the left, and so on. So hopefully they'll be sorted out.
We know Iran are a team of fighters. They were down 2-0 in their first game against China and came back to win 4-2. So being behind will mean nothing to them. In fact, one comment was made that they only start playing real football when they went behind in this game.
Well, they are. If for nothing else, they're fighters. At their best, they are the best team in Asia. We've been saying that for a long, long time. They've had a downer recently, all sorts of problems. But at their worst, they are fighters. But their form today, they will put us under enormous pressure. Thanks to Mark Bosnich. I mean, the first save was just absolute fantastic, as in fact was the second. But we're still 1-1. Venables has them in at half-time, settle things down, perhaps a few adjustments, and come out to face what's going to be a very long 45 minutes for us.
Okay, Johnny Warren, you're probably having flashbacks to the atmosphere of 73.
Yeah, very much so.
It's very much a daunting atmosphere here. Good luck in the second half to the Australians. We hope we'll now cross back to Les Murray in Sydney.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Johnny. And indeed, they're going to be 45 very, very long minutes in that second half. Let's take a short break. And when we return, we'll preview the action in the second half. And welcome back to the big one in Tehran between Australia and Iran. It's 1-1 at the break. We're a couple of minutes away from the kickoff to the second half. Rally Rasic, if you were in Venables' shoes, this is the predictable question. What would you be doing? There is obviously something that needs fixing because they're going to be coming Australia with all wheels on in this second 45 minutes.
I think it's a great risk to play defensively at the moment. And secondly, as I indicated before, yellow card on Vidma is a critical point in this coming 45 minutes. And all attack of Iran, was it plain or not, has come from right side. And then on the other hand, if you allow Dai to play the way that he was playing, something will come. And so in my view, from the coaching point of view, I would just do what Terry did in first 10-15 minutes, attack and force errors as we did, and that would be decisive.
Quick prediction, Ray, can we survive it?
I think so. I think Terry's got to take the initiative back, though. He's given the initiative to the Iranians by dropping the players back, and I presume it's Terry's direction. So I'd like to see us push more forward again and try to hold the ball up a little bit more up front.
Same question to you, Charlie.
Yeah, I think the midfield, we've got to get into more control there, and we've got to have Mark Viduka and Harry Kewell forward, much more forward, rather than sitting back, because it's a long way to try to get forward when you lose possession.
All right, Charlie, thanks very much. Let's go back to our commentators, Paul Williams and Johnny Warren.
Welcome back to the Azadi Stadium for the start of the second half. There have been no changes to the starting 11 of Australia, but all 5 substitutes were warming up at the break. Terry Venables has been in charge of the Socceroos since early January. They've played 12 matches and they have a 100% success record with 12 wins. But this is by far the sternest test so far as we take another look at the goal that beat Bosnic in the first half. Azizi at the near post. And the second half is clearly underway. Craig Moore again on Ali Dai with a wild shot at the Australian goal. He's been well contained in the first half by Craig Moore, and the danger before the game, on talking to the Australian coaching staff, they were worried about Ali Dai, of course, but Azizi and Medovicia were the 2 other players who they were particularly concerned about, and both combined for Iran's equaliser. Moore again backpedaling. Ali Dai lets the ball run out, throw in to Iran. Reza Sharudi with the throw. Foster up against Mansourian. Corner to Iran. Taken quickly. Sharudi whipping it across. Ali Dai up and in there. Bosnic! Brilliant save again from Mark Bosnic. Ali Dai rose above everybody in the Australian defence. A marvellous effort from him, but it was matched every centimetre of the way by Bosnic. What a save that was. Corner to Iran. Foster hacks the ball away. As we take another look here.
Ali Dai, look, just hangs in the air. Look, hangs so far above the Australian defence, and the 3rd great save from Bosnic.
Well, we talked about the first 20 minutes of the first half, John, but this is equally as important.
More important.
Hockport plays the ball in, away by Horvath. Viduka's in space, but the whistle's gone.
Just from the coaching staff at half-time, more of the same from Australia, no changes of course. They are concerned about the yellow cards. They really don't want any silly fouls given away because of the suspension that happened in Melbourne. But a difficult time for Australia. Iran are just going to throw everything at them now. They know they've got to get the result in this match. And Ali Dair in the air, as we've seen just moments ago, is going to be a real danger for us in this second half.
Foul on Slater. Throw taken quickly, but will have to be taken again by Robbie Slater because he took the throw on the running track. Zelic just lost the ball for a moment. Coming inside, still Zelic, goes past 2 or 3. This is the brilliance of Zelic. The ball to the back post, deep post. Aurelio Vidmar's there, nodding it back. Chance for Australia. Tony Vidmar coming in with the shot. And a tremendous move that from the Socceroos, with Zelic at the heart of it there, going past a couple of midfielders like they didn't exist. It was a ball to the far post, picking out Aurelio Vidmar, that understanding that the two have. And the shot was deflected away there from Tony Vidmar. Corner to Australia. Viduka the obvious target. Up at Zadar, underneath it, Viduka there as well, but a good save from the goalkeeper. And Azizi is away down the right-hand side. Danger here for Australia. Horvath kept his eye on the ball all the way, Steve Horvath. Kewell, great turn from him. Little ball inside, Vidmar fouled. Well, the edge to the game has been unrelenting right from the word go.
Three warming up behind us, Paul. Ernie Tapai, Graham Arnold and Skoko, and Lazaridis. So a change within the next 10 minutes or so for Australia.
Moore getting first to the ball, but putting his defence under pressure. Well, this has been interesting. Tobin will surely get a yellow, and he does, but the relief really is that it's not a red card.
Well, there could be an argument for a red. Was he the last man? The replay will show it looked horribly close to being the last man, in which case Australia a little fortunate not to have a send-off.
Free kick to Iran. Sharudi over the ball, everyone back for Australia. The onslaught from the home side continues. Well, it went into the wall, and the referee has given a corner to Iran. Bosnich willing to come off his line. Alex Tobin, I think, will be happy with the yellow card there. But any mistake in the defence can cause all kinds of problems. Whipped across, Bosnich plucked it out of the air, keeping his eye on the ball the whole time. And what an important role he has played in goal for the Socceroos tonight. Not just because of the outstanding saves he's made, but more so the confidence that he gives his fellow defenders. Viduka with the layoff. Kewell, this is promising for the Socceroos. Down the left-hand side, Tony Vidmar, deep cross, too deep. In fact, but Slater will get there. Good move from Australia, though. Slater whipping the ball in. Good cross from Robbie Slater. But there were players waiting in the centre there. Cross just a little overhit by Tony Vidmar. As Foster comes, Zelic. Well, tried to just bunt it through the gap there in defence, and Iran on the attack here with the dangerous Matavikia, and here's the even more dangerous Ali Dair. Moore's against him. Bosnich went down. Well, the stadium here just lifts incredibly when this man gets the ball. It is quite hard to describe, but you can see behind the goal the crowd going up on their feet. No power in the shot though. And here's Kewell, great first time ball. Aurelio Vidmar just pushed off the ball for a second there. Aurelio Vidmar, 7 goals in his last 10 games for Australia. Now the Socceroos on the counter-attack. Viduka, the keeper's a mile off his line if Viduka can see him, but he's been tripped on the edge of the penalty area. Great steal there from Australia. Viduka just had a chance to get his head up there, but he was fouled badly. His foot stomped there. Well, it's a free kick around 22 metres out as we take a look at Australia's substitutes warming up, Arnold and Skoko.
And it's going to be Lazaridis will be one of the changes. Terry Venables talking to him as we speak. I think they're looking for a lot more out of in an attacking situation down the left. We saw Tony Vidmar get forward for the first time just minutes ago, and to relieve the pressure you need that outlet.
Well, Tony Vidmar is the obvious player to come off if Lazaridis does come on. This attack here from Iran. Mansourian, the bounce of the ball worked against him. Slater should get there, and he does, and it was fortunate for Australia there because they were caught very much on the hop by the pace of Iran down the left-hand side. We see a great crowd shot there. Very much the sport of the people football here. 12 million people in Tehran. Moore miscontrolled it, dangerous. Ali Daei, Azizi, Horvath more than happy just to stick a foot to the ball and clear it up the field. But more pressure for Australia to sustain with Sadavi. He's gone down and he's been fouled. Well, it's Tony Vidmar as well, so your heart's in your mouth about the second yellow card for him.
Well, I must say the decisions have gone our way. I mean, that is almost a second yellow. Thankfully, it's not. But Australia have really got to try to use the ball when they get possession of it. Otherwise, we're just going to be under sustained pressure all the time. I know that's easier said than done, but it is time to try to play the ball out if possible, because otherwise Iran, it's just going to be backs to the wall stuff for the next 30-odd minutes.
Well, on 2 or 3 occasions in the match, Australia have stolen possession in a very dangerous position. They just haven't quite been able to take advantage of that as more instructions come to Ned Zelic from the Australian bench. Lazaridis is now stripped and ready for action. A deep ball to the back post. Vidmar across, straight at the goal. Well won in the air by Aurelio Vidmar. The Zelic-Vidmar combination again to the fore. Tony Vidmar up against Madavikia. Throw into Iran. We've had just on 11 minutes of the second half gone. And Ernie Tapai is about to come on for the Socceroos as well. So Tapai and Lazaridis will be in the match any second now.
And 2 good changes, Paul. I think Tony Vidmar already with the yellow. I think we do need more down the left side. And Tapai, the super sub, can add penetration on the other flank. It's something we've lacked in the game so far. And 2 good changes coming up for Australia.
It's Iran 1, Australia 1. Australia having a little bit of trouble getting the substitution happening. A few technicalities. Kuhl is offside. And it's a free kick to the home team. Well, the Solomon Islands and Tahiti and New Zealand have all been swept aside by the Socceroos side, intent on qualifying for the World Cup for just the second time. Iran are significantly stronger. It's a corner. Sharuzi will take the corner. Still Australia unable to make the substitution. Danger there for the Socceroos. Kuhl hooks it away. It's gone right down to the Iranian keeper Abadzadeh, who fancies himself a little bit as an outfield player. A long ball from him, straight to the head of Tobin, who gives it away. Long shot! Plenty of power there from Sharudi, who's come into the side today in midfield. It didn't really trouble Mount Bosnich, and hopefully now Australia can make the changes. Aurelio Vidmar, who's coming off, and Robbie Slater is making way as well. We'll just see the readjustment here. Now the question is, Johnny Warren, will Stan Lazaridis go to left wing back and push his brother forward, or will they just be a straight swap?
Well, it's a good question. Tony is coming to the right side and Stan over on the left. Tapai is going to play more in an advanced position on the left. In other words, to take over Aurelio Vidmar's position.
Lazaridis into things very quickly indeed. The drawing problem for Stan Lazaridis really kept him out of the starting 11, if you like. The fact that he hasn't played a game for 3 weeks was the clinching thing for Terry Venables to start Tony Vidmar in that position as Tapai comes across. It's a good deep cross, Bosnich on his line. Tony Vidmar winning the ball. Mansourian now for Iran, going all the way back. Kuhl can't get there. Tried to get the steal. Still around forward. Estili, the flag's up for offside. "14 and a half minutes gone here at the Azadi. Iran 1, Australia 1. Speaking to Terry Venables during the week, he said that he would be absolutely delighted to come away with the draw. Tapai early, Kuhl can't get there. Zardet, long throw, very good throw from the experienced goalkeeper. Horvath composed, Zelic touching it on. Foster was sold a little bit short by the pass there from Ned Zelic, but he's helped up by Estili, who had some real sting in the tackle there. Foster limping forward. Zelic again. Well, that was given away just a little bit too easily when Australia need to work as much of the clock down as they can by maintaining possession, but Tapai's in the thick of things quickly. He has got such a reputation as coming on as a substitute for Australia. Azizi teasing Tobin. Tobin, well, he is an immaculate defender. Didn't foul his man there, and won the ball for Australia in the end as well. Oh, danger here. Bosnich on the edge of his area, though. As the foot race between Ali Daei and Craig Moore was eventuated.
Another change coming up too, Paul. Skoko will be on. There'll be a change in midfield. They always say the sign of the disturbed on the bench is the team making the most changes, and this will be the third for Australia. They're not happy for a lot of reasons, and again, it's easy said than done that Iran are putting us up under so much pressure. It is necessary for us to start to try to put a few passes together to deny them possession. At the moment, once we're getting it, we're giving it straight back, and hence the continual pressure, which we're not going to be able to sustain that for the next 30 minutes.
Sharuzi for Iran, onto that favoured left foot of his. Whipped across to the near post. Ali Daei slips. Goal kick to Australia. Well, he is a brilliant striker, there's no doubt about it, but he has been well contained tonight by an Australian side that has been extremely well briefed on his quality. Brings the ball down. Need to get there quickly. Nice ball from him to Horvath. Somewhat spoons it up the centre to Viduka. Moore first to the ball. Tony Vidmar, who's now switched to the right-hand side. Kuehl. Well, it is very hard to retain possession, such as the pressure of the occasion as well as the pressure from the Iranian players. Tapai, Viduka offside. Well, one of the benefits of a commentary position this close to the ground is you do get a very good look at the offside decisions. Tobin forced to go out against the danger man, Matavicchia. Azizi on the edge of the penalty area. Azizi, Matavicchia. Good move from Iran. Australia very much on their toes in defence. Alex Tobin, the captain, marshalling everyone to the single cause of keeping Iran at bay. Still plenty of work to do. Corner to Iran. Kuehl just helping it down the park very quickly indeed. Tapai, this willing chaser. Zadeh. Iran about to make a change. That's Mansourian who's coming off. And it's Tahami who is coming on in place of Mansourian. Iran take the free kick quickly, laid square. Lots of yellow shirts behind the ball. Ali Daeik just trying to help it on. Act clear, but just a little bit unconvincingly from Australia. Foster got there. Linesman's flag is directly up in the air, which doesn't tell the referee which way to make the decision as we take a look at Vieira, the coach of Iran. His nickname is Badu. He's Brazilian, but he left Brazil when he was just 18, so he doesn't have a big reputation in his own country. He's the first foreign coach in Iran since 1979, at the start of the Islamic Revolution. Bosnich is there. What a game he's had. Kuehl, the lone striker at the moment, as Hokpour brings down an awkward ball very easily indeed. Zelic can't win it. Tapai in quickly. Well, we are in the 22nd minute of the second half. Well, danger now for Australia. Steve Horvath is limping badly. Kuehl prepared to take on the goalkeeper, but Abedzada showed his confidence and his class and his nerve as well, more so than anything else. What a thing to try in this cauldron here. The ball goes back to Bosnich, who's solid, the ball on the ground. Lazaridis, Zelic's time. Viduka peeling away to the right. He's been pulled back, Viduka, and he's been fouled. But play goes on because Australia had possession. Foster down the right-hand side. Still Foster. Time for him to get a good cross in. Whip to the near post. Awkward for the goalkeeper, but no one there for Australia. And now Lazaridis in possession. Good little spell of the game this for Australia. Helped on again to Lazaridis. A throw into Australia on the far side. And the first real genuine moments in attack for the Socceroos in what seems like an awfully long time. Abedzada, who was criticised last week against Japan for his histrionics. It was something that Australia felt that they could capitalise on as Tapai takes the corner. Abedzada out again, he's dropped it. Well, he's plucked it off the nose of Mark Viduka. But the free kick has gone in favour of Iran. The challenge by Viduka said to be illegal. Karavani. Tony Vidmar in tight, but the ball helped on quickly to Moore, who's equally as tight on his man. Zelic helping it on. Kuhl bringing it down beautifully. Through for Viduka, he's offside. Whoa, that was close. Well, Venables is up on his feet, and furious with that decision.
100% right, that was not offside. Evens up to one of the first half, which went against Iran. But the third change, which coming up, Paul, it's Horvath is limping badly. In actual fact, went down behind play. Now, the change coming up looks like Skoko is going to come on, but there'll probably be a hold on that just to see how Horvath recovers, because that's going to be a crucial decision now. If Horvath is struggling, the change really has to be held up to clear him, because that could create extra headaches for Australia, as in fact this is a headache. Bosnich has been superb, absolute superb. Rated world-class keeper. I think he's proven that tonight. Just everything he's done has been absolute class. 3 fabulous saves.
Well, it's been quite an open game in many ways, surprisingly so, considering the tension and importance of the match. For Iran. We've had just under 25 minutes of the second half. Still 1-1 the score. Nodovikia up against Lazaridis. Well, he's such a good player. Tony Vidmar at the back post, a winning header from Tony Vidmar, and he had to win it as well. Sharudi whipping it in. Bosnich! Well, an easy save, really, for a keeper of that calibre. Clever header back from Mark Viduka. Tapai trying to switch play to find Kuhl. The ball's fallen nicely for Tony Vidmar. Still Vidmar. Still Vidmar. Nowhere for him to go. Zelic will go forward. Ned Zelic. Wide is Foster. Time to measure the cross very much for Craig Foster. Tapai under pressure. He didn't really want the ball there. He thought that Foster may have knocked the ball in. Lazaridis on the left-hand side. Still Lazaridis. Great run from Lazaridis. Abadzada got there. Corner Australia.
But better stuff. That is what Australia have to do, just to keep the ball a little bit more, deny possession to Iran. And it's something we haven't done all this first half. They've been under enormous pressure. They will relieve that pressure by pushing the ball around, probing either side, and with a final attempt on goal, as we saw there. Much better stuff from Australia. That is what they have to do for the remaining 20 minutes.
Kuhl with the corner. A goal now to the Socceroos would be quite phenomenal, but Abadzada, the quick clearance up the park, Horvath right underneath it. Tapai will bring it down, but he's under pressure very quickly. Still Tapai. Oh, that's brilliant from Ernie Tapai. All the way on his own, down the right-hand side. Whip the ball across. Abadzada was there, though. But fine stuff from Ernie Tapai. Look at the pace down the right now from Sadabi. Corner to Iran. The pace of the game hasn't slackened, despite the fact that we are well into the second half here. Australia have the vital away goal. Well, Azizi on the edge of the penalty area. Still Azizi. Still Azizi. Bosnich at the right place once again. As we take another look at Azizi, what a player he is, so dangerous. And Bosnich was well placed at the near post. Australia have a free kick though. In no hurry to take it though, the referee, Mr. Parotti from Italy. Well, he's seen everything there is to see in the game, but the free kick's been taken quickly. Zelic made fancy his chances. Viduka's here! But he couldn't get a clean head on the ball, Mark Viduka. Great move again, Australia. Quick thinking by Foster and Vidmar over the free kick. And Zelic again providing a telling ball. Viduka just couldn't quite get up to the cross there from Zelic. But more signs that Australia have another goal within them, as Iran look to make another change. Kuehl underneath it. And he does so well in the air, Harry Kuehl, considering that he was playing against much taller opponents. Tapai, little ball over the top. Can Viduka bring it down? It's running through to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper was a little slow coming off his line, and Peravani wasn't prepared to take any risks. The sweeper for Iran plays for Bahman, the local clubs here in Iran, but only 3 of their players play overseas, in contrast to so many of the Socceroos. Whip the ball in here, but the flag goes up. And Iran are making another change. The man to make way is Pashitzadeh. Australia have danger here with Ali Doyi. Horvat over the bar. Well, he can shoot from anywhere. But he's claiming that the ball took a deflection off an Australian on the way through. He found a metre of space for himself there and took the shot that was really not a corner. And the change can now be made. And the player coming on for Iran, no. Yes, it is held up. Majidi comes on for Pashitzadeh. We just can't help but checking the clock constantly, and we have just under 15 minutes remaining here. Foster works his way forward down the right-hand side. Zelic in support quickly from the back. Zelic, well, great tackle that from the substitute Majidi, and now Iran on the counter. White shirt streaming forward all over the place. Danger for Australia here, who are struggling to get men back, and more with the telling tackle. Azizi's fouled. He gets back up on his feet. Play goes on. Azizi in possession. Twisting and turning to get past Horvath. There's an Australian player down. It's Craig Moore in real trouble by the look of things. Zelic with the head in, and Viduka happy to just pop the ball away. And Australia can now get some attention to Craig Moore, who hasn't moved a millimetre since he went down in the challenge. Australia still have one substitute up their sleeve. Skoko has been warming up, but well, the call from Terry Venables is to get a substitute on straight away. And it will be Milan Ivanovic who comes on, I would suggest. Despite the fact he is one of the few Australian bench players who haven't been warming up the whole game. Well, the tension is quite extraordinary here, and I'm sure you're feeling every bit of it in your homes back in Australia in the wee hours of the morning. Kuehl, well, he's outnumbered, but he's got away with the ball superbly there. Foster, and a late challenge there on Harry Kuehl. Australia down to 10 men, just temporarily, with Craig Moore. And we're just not sure whether he's coming back on or not. He's limping behind the goal. Play goes on. Zelic in the possession. Foster will take the throw. Craig Moore has gone back on. No room there for Tapai to operate in. Well, you can see that there is around 13 minutes left.
A real quandary for Venables, that third change. He's wanting to make a change to bring Skoko on in midfield to try and get a little bit of control of the game. But it just proves that incident then, it's just so dangerous to make that third change too early, because an injury at the back could mean that a different type of player is needed on the field.
Viduka challenging. Lazaridis under the ball. It's a throw in to Iran. It doesn't get any tougher than this in world football when you're trying to qualify for a World Cup. High ball into the area. Bosnich comes, and jumping against him was Ali Daei. What a contest that was in the air. And the handshakes there between two players who are professionals right at the peak of their careers. Sadabi with the cross. Ali Daei leapt so high there, as getting as high as Bosnich, but just not to the ball in front of Bosnich. Duka won't get there. There's Ali Daei given room to turn against Moore, who may be struggling just a fraction, but Tobin is there. No penalty, despite the appeals from 120,000 referees in the crowd that were absolutely sure that it was. Mr. Perotto didn't hesitate. Viduka's going through here, the keeper's off his line. He didn't know where the ball was, and Viduka, with an ounce of luck there, could have had a great opportunity for Australia. Throw into the Socceroos. Well, let's take a look here at Ali Daei.
It wasn't a penalty.
Kuhl. Well, no room at all. Tapai given the ball. Well, nothing really Zelic could do with that except play the ball forward with his head, which he's done again, but possession just lost in the meantime. Iran have a man free down this left-hand side, closing him down quickly. Here's Tahami, the substitute. Still Tahami going through. Well, it's a free kick to Australia there for the dive by Tahami, and a good decision from the Italian referee. You cannot pull the wool over this man's eyes. He's seen too much world football in his time. Pierluigi Perotto. He's already refereed a number of World Cup qualifiers in Europe this season. Well, that surely is a foul, and it is. Kuhl was climbed all over there by Sharudi. Foster over the ball. Played into the penalty area. Tapai's there, great run from Ernie Tapai, waiting for support. A little ball across, no one there for Australia. Viduka was waiting in the centre. Zelic wins it in the air, helps it on to Stan Lazaridis. Still Lazaridis running past his man, but he's run past his man and into touch and out of room. And a push in the back there from Ali Daei. Well, around 8 minutes remaining here at the Azadi. The crowd are lighting the candles as time is very much on Australia's side at the moment. It's Iran that must get a result here. What a catastrophe that could have been, as it went across the Australian goal after Tapai was just too complacent in defence. Well, a football match can turn in an instant. Long shot there! Well, it was closer than it looked. And a fine shot there from Sudabi. Well, anything can happen in this remaining 6.5 minutes or so. Kuhl will challenge. Viduka running on. Vidmar just hoiking it up the centre. The crisp winter air of Tehran starts to engulf the stadium. Tobin has fouled his man in a dangerous position. The floodlights have been on since half-time. And Australia now, well, what can you say? We all know that they must be dreadfully careful from the set piece. Every man behind the ball from an Australian perspective. Ali Daei over the ball. Yellow card there to Tapai for not retreating. Majidi, the substitute, is over the ball. Hokpur is not too far away. Ali Daei. Australia have a big side. There's a lot of height in the wall, which will help Mark Bosnich, who's covering the left-hand side of the goal. Well, Ali Daei takes it over the wall! My word, that was close from Ali Daei. It was dipping, but not dipping fast enough. Great attempt there from the Iran marksman, and that did not miss by much. Viduka flicking it on. Australia have around 6 minutes to keep their goal intact and to come away with a result, and it's a word I use with real clarity because it very much is a good result for Australia to come away from here with a 1-1 scoreline. Azizi. Oh, Kuhl, brilliant play from him to skip between a couple. Azizi tracking back, very similar styles of play from both of them. Fine switch of play. Nice little shimmy from Tahami. Moore gets there first. And he was hoping that the ball would run out for a goal kick, but he just ran out of room there. Ali Daei twisting and turning, getting past Foster. Little with the cross from Tahami, and that's a goal kick. Well, John, there's less than 4 minutes remaining here. It has been quite a stunning match.
It has. The boys have just absorbed so much pressure. I mean, to Mark Bosnich has been fabulous. The defensive triangle there of Horvath, Moore and Tobin, but I think it should be stressed this is not an easy environment to play in. This is a very, very good Iranian side. They've thrown everything at Australia. Let's hope we can just hang out for those 4 minutes. As you mentioned, it is a favourable result to get out of here with a 1-1 draw for us.
And the free kick goes to Iran. Taken quickly. Hokpur. Madavikia. It's a great ball there. It can be kept in. It's pulled back and well defended. Another corner to Iran. Graham Arnold will be taking part in the game very shortly. Australia looking to make the substitution quickly to stop the momentum of Iran and attack. The corner will be taken. It's a loose ball. Chance for Iran here. Deflection. Moore will get the ball away. Moore goes down as well. He's limping. Just has to hang in there a little bit longer. Graham Arnold will be coming on any second with less than 3 minutes remaining. The corner comes in. No one there for Iran, and it's an Australian free kick. who will make way for Graham Arnold. Harry Kewell, the goal scorer, is coming off. Graham Arnold likely to slot into perhaps a midfield role.
I don't think it matters much. The reason for this change is just to take the rhythm out of these Iranian attacks. Kewell taking his time walking off, Arnie taking his time getting on. It just slows, that gives the Aussies that little bit of breather. We've only got 3 minutes to go, and settle things, or try to settle things down a little bit.
Foster winning the ball in the air. Every loose ball, it's vital that it's won by Australia. Tobin wins another one there. Foster prepared to back himself and bring it down still. Arnold in trouble. Foster bounce to the ball, working favourably for Craig Foster. Arnie making a run into the corner. Great run from Graham Arnold, just working his way down the right-hand line there. The ball goes back to the goalkeeper. Awkward for him, too awkward. Corner to Australia. That is what pressure does. Great effort there from Graham Arnold. Venables on his feet at the bottom of the screen there, giving Foster instructions. On my watch, there's just over 60 seconds of normal time remaining in the game. Corner comes over. Zelic. Little ball over the top. Flag stays down. Tapo's onside. Whipped across, but no one there at the back of the goal for Australia.
We're not worried about crosses like that at this stage of the game. It wastes a few more seconds. This will be a great result for Australia. I believe they can overcome it in Melbourne. It will be an entirely different game there. Iran had to win this one, and had to win it, I believe, by a couple of goals. But it's going to be some night in Melbourne next Saturday evening. You've got an idea now of what Iran is like. They will have their top player back for that match, Bagheri, and going to be a night to remember. Let's hope the boys can just hold out for this remaining couple of minutes.
Running forward after laying the ball off. The high ball comes into the area. Moore, well, just for a moment there I thought there was confusion between Moore and Vidmar, but Foster's coming away. And there is the final whistle. Australia have got a draw at the Azadi Stadium in Tehran. Very much a fine result for Terry Venables and the Socceroos. It was a game that Iran had to really win. They were expected to call the shots in so many ways tonight, but this really impressive Socceroo performance nullified everything that Iran threw at the Socceroo defence. Mark Bosnich in goal for Australia was the outstanding player tonight. Harry Kewell scored for the Australian side in the 19th minute. Azizi in your shot there gave everything he had and found an equaliser for Iran 6 minutes before the break. What a fine player he is. But Iran now know that they are up against it, because they must come to the MCG in a week's time. And it will be an MCG that is packed to the rafters to see Australia on their way through to France in 1998. Phenomenal game here at the Azadi Stadium. The final score, Iran 1, Australia 1. Now let's cross back to Les Murray.